Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Reel. I'm your host John, and today we've got another Lowrance video for you guys. This is for those of you that may be new to Lowrance and you're looking to figure out how to operate the unit your first time out. This is going to give you some information to help you be more effective out there on the water the very first time you take it out, or maybe you just need to brush up on how to operate this unit. This is going to be a great video for you guys. Stay tuned. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead, power your units up. You guys can follow me along in this video if you want to go through some of these settings. You don't want your very first time to be messing with this unit to be when you're out there on the water and the fish are biting. So I strongly encourage you to power these things up in the driveway. If you have a power bank inside or something like that you can power this unit up on. You can do a little bit of practice at home. So power your unit up. We're going to be on the main screen. If you're looking at something else right now, you can press that Pages button and this will take you back to your main menu. So from the main menu, you're going to see a bunch of different tiles and you're going to be able to pick from charts, sonar, side scan, down scan, active target. You've got a bunch of different options here. So this is going to make it really easy to get to where you want to go. If you're familiar with operating a smartphone, you're going to be able to figure this unit out pretty easily. So from the main menu, you're going to go ahead and select whichever option that you want to look into. So let's say you want to pull up your chart screen. You'll go ahead and hit the charts option, and then you'll be able to see all of the preloaded mapping information on the unit. A lot of these newer units are being preloaded with CMAP, and they have some really good contour information as well as some awesome depth shading options as well. So not all of the lakes are going to be preloaded on this unit. A lot of the smaller lakes haven't been graphed, so you do have an option to actually create your own contour information with the CMAP Genesis Live option. So that's a really cool option that you guys can take advantage of if your local lake isn't mapped out. But the chart screen is definitely something that you're going to utilize quite often. The next one that you're going to see is sonar. That's going to be your traditional 2D information. That's going to be where the fish are going to show up as arches. A lot of the structure that you're going to see on 2D, you're not going to be able to really make out exactly what it is unless you split screen that with your down imaging, and that's what I like to do. So that is something that I strongly encourage, and you can actually add that to your combo screen. We'll go over that here in just a minute. But your fish are going to show up as arches on your 2D. A lot of the times your structure is going to just show up as a bunch of fish arches. So, you know, if you're new to sonar, it may look like you have a whole bunch of fish that are stacked up on top of each other. If you see something like that and you're new to this technology, I want you to pull up your down imaging as well and cross-reference the information that you're seeing on your 2D. So on your down imaging, it may be plain as day that there's a tree there, and yes, there's one or two fish, or maybe there's no fish at all, but you're going to be able to actually take that information and run those two pieces of technology side by side to determine what it is that you're looking at. Now on down imaging, the fish are not going to show up as arches. They're going to show up as more of a circular shape, and there's a couple fish right there on down imaging, so that's kind of what you're looking for. You're going to be able to see those bait balls are going to show up really well on down imaging as well. They're going to not be as bright of a return, but they're going to be a big huge cloud, and it might, you know, appear to be 5 or 10 feet long, or, you know, even 5 or 6 feet tall, right? And obviously that's not a fish. You're looking at a bait ball right there. So that is something that is kind of going to show up crazy on your 2D as well. So that's another reason why you want to cross-reference the information. So bait balls and structure are definitely going to be two scenarios where you want to split screen your 2D and your down imaging. Your fish are going to show up as more of a solid round return than it is going to be an arch. And on both 2D and down imaging, you're going to have the option to select different frequencies. You've got 83 to 200 kilohertz on your sonar if you're running that active imaging 3-in-1, and you've got 455, 800 on your down scan. So you're going to be able to actually toggle between the different frequencies right here on your down imaging or your sonar screen. And just keep in mind all of the adjustments that you're going to be making to your 2D and your down imaging, this goes for side imaging as well, are going to be right over there on the right hand side of your screen underneath your menu. So if you want to make an adjustment to the return, you are actually going to do that from the screen in question, okay? And in order to do that on a split screen scenario, all you have to do is select the side of the screen and you'll see that it is highlighted once you have selected it. Any changes that you make are going to be made to the side of the screen that you have highlighted. You also have the option to change the color palette. This is something that I would strongly encourage you experimenting with. Change that color palette at different times of the day, different conditions. What looks good to my eyes are going to look different to your eyes, so that is definitely something that you are going to want to be open to changing. You may have a favorite, but different conditions call for different color palettes. Also, if you want to adjust your frequency, I want you to just keep in mind that the lower frequencies are going to be better for deeper water. Higher frequencies are going to be better for more shallow conditions. So if you're fishing 30, 40 feet or less, then you're probably going to want to keep them on those higher frequencies. Kind of depending on what you're doing, you may never change that. But if you get into some deeper situations, you definitely want to drop that frequency down. You're going to get a much better return. The other adjustment that you may want to make is adjusting your range. And by adjusting your range, you're going to get a little bit better return if your unit knows how far that transducer needs to read. It's not going to be trying to collect information way past where it's actually shooting. So if you're just starting out, using those auto ranges, that is perfectly fine. But as you start to get more comfortable with the unit, maybe more comfortable with fishing a certain body of water, you can go ahead and you can set those ranges to the max depth of the lake, and you're going to get a better return in doing so. Now, when you're looking at fish on side imaging, they're going to look a little bit different than they do on down scan. So they're going to appear as more of grains of rice, and definitely cross-reference those kind of grain of rice looking returns with some shadows. That'll kind of just help you to check yourself. And sometimes those grains of rice aren't fish. Sometimes there is a log or something on the bottom, maybe a rock or something can look very similar to that same shape. So seeing shadows, seeing that the fish are up off of the bottom, that would be a dead giveaway that, hey, that's not a log floating a couple feet off of the bottom. That's got to be a fish. Just a way to kind of check yourself if you're new to the side imaging technology. This is going to help you be sure that you're spending your time more wisely. You're not casting at something that can't bite your lure. The other thing that you want to keep in mind on the side imaging is you have this pretty large portion of the screen that is actually taken up by information that your transducer is reading from the transducer all the way down to the bottom of the lake. And if you see fish in there, then you know that that fish is pretty much right below the boat. Now, you do have a cone that is being shot down, so it could be within a few feet. But if you're seeing fish in that black portion of your side imaging return, then you know those fish are pretty much below the boat. And as that side imaging picture is being produced on your screen, you're getting that information from top to bottom. So when you see something at the very top of the screen, as soon as it starts scrolling across, you know that you just passed over that information. So if there was a fish there, and if you're moving, you're going to have to mark a waypoint. That's going to help you figure out where that fish is at, and then you can start fishing for it. But if you see something come across your screen and you're still moving and you drop down on it, you've already passed over that fish. So unless that fish just happens to be running right under your boat at the same rate of speed, you're not fishing for that fish. So just keep in mind that you are seeing history as that information scrolls down the screen, and everything in that black area is going to be basically from the transducer down to the bottom of the lake, give or take a few feet, just kind of depending on how deep you are. So the further down that cone shoots, the wider that cone is going to get. So when you guys are out there and you're making adjustments with your sonar, you're going to adjust the color palette, you're going to be adjusting the range, you're going to be adjusting the frequency, and now the next thing that I want to talk about is adding combos. And this is something that you're going to be able to do from the main screen. So if you're not there right now, I want you to hit that Pages button, and you're going to see some combos over there on the right hand side of the screen, and you're going to see a plus button. I want you to go ahead and I want you to press that, and it's going to pull up this screen here, and you're going to be able to create your own combo. Now, one of the most used combos that I have on my unit is going to be the 2D and the down scan side by side. So this is going to help you to check yourself when you're seeing something on 2D. Cross-referencing that with your down imaging is just going to help make sure that you have all of the information at your disposal. So go ahead, drag over whatever piece of information that you want to drag into this combo. It could be charts, could be side scan, it could be active target. You have a bunch of different options here. You can create your own layout right here and save these, and then that way when you want to get to that split screen that you have set aside there, that you're going to be able to get to it quickly, and they'll stay right there on the main screen. So little things like this are just going to help you to be more effective out there on the water. Again, we want to use this information to catch more fish. That's the whole idea, is just to use the information to be more effective, and we don't want to be fiddling around with our units instead of putting fish in the boat, right? So you want to make sure that you have everything dialed in to the best of your ability before you get out there. Now, once you get out there, you're going to play with the contrast a little bit. You're going to play with your range, your sensitivity. You know, there's a few adjustments that you're going to make, but I'm telling you that you're going to get the best results pretty dang close to default settings. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you check out the rest of the videos on our Lowrance playlist. Comment if you have any questions at all, and we'll see you guys on the next one.